Dear students, hope you are great. Today we are going to revise Unit 1, Lesson 1, the characteristics of the cell. First, we should know the meaning of the cell. What's meant by cell? Cell is the smallest function and structure unit of all living things. Smallest function and structure unit of all living things. So what's meant by an organism is any living thing that carries out its own life process. Robert Hooke was the first to describe the cell. So Robert was the first one who described the cell. He built a microscope to look at a tiny object. He looked at a bark of cork tree under a microscope. Why are most cells small? Most cells are too small to be seen without microscope. Cells are small because their size is limited by their outer surface area. Cells take in food and get rid of waste through their outer surface. As cells grow, it needs more food and produce more wastes. What's the cell theory? All organisms are made up of one or more cells. The cell is the basic unit of all organisms. All cells come from existing cells. Anton van was the first to describe living cell when he looked at a drop of water under the microscope. So Anton was the first one to describe a living cell when he looked at the drop of water under a microscope. Second person, Matthias, concludes that all plants are made up of cells. So Matthias concludes that all plants are made up of cells. Theodor Schwann determined that all animal tissue are made up of cells. He concludes that all organisms are made up of one or more cells. We have two types of organism, unicellular organism and multicellular organism. Unicellular organisms that are made up of just one cell, only one cell, while multicellular organisms made up of many cells or more than one, like animal, plants, and so on. This is an example of unicellular organism: paramecium, ammonia, bacteria, yeast, and this is an example of multicellular organism. What parts do all cells have in common? A cell have a cell membrane. Any cell have a cell membrane, outer layer, protective layer that covers the cell surface and acts as the barrier between the inside of the cell and cell environment. It also controls the material moving into and out of the cell. Second part that found in or common in all cells, cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is a fluid, is a region inside the cell that includes fluid that all organisms except for a nucleus, like this. This is a fluid. This is a cytoplasm. This is a cytoplasm, and the outer layer here, this is a cell membrane. So cytoplasm is the region inside the cell that includes fluid. An organelle is a small body in a cytoplasm that is specialized to perform specific function. Nucleus is a membrane-bound organ that contains DNA. This is a nucleus. Look, this is a nucleus that contains DNA. Inside the nucleus, there is a DNA. And what's meant by DNA is a genetic material that provides instruction for all cell process. Provide instruction about all cell process. We have two types of cell, which is too important: prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Prokaryotes, like bacteria, are a single cell made up of only one cell that do not have a nucleus. Inside the cell. So their DNA present in what? In cytoplasm. Why present in cytoplasm? And there is no nucleus inside in a prokaryote cell. So prokaryotes do not have a nucleus, and there is DNA present in cytoplasm. They have organ without cell membrane called ribosomes. Some have hair-like structure called flagella, and also prokaryotes like bacteria have a flagella, hair-like structure. What is the importance of hair-like structure or flagella? Help them to move. Second type of cells, eukaryotes. Eukaryotes like plants, like animal. All organisms made up of cells that contain DNA in nucleus, have a nucleus, have a membrane-bound organ, have organ and ribosomes like animal, plants, protists, and fungi and fungi. This is a difference between eukaryotes like plants, animal, and prokaryotes do not have a nucleus but have so there is DNA present in cytoplasm. So like this, This is the DNA for prokaryote and have a hair-like structure. Is the smallest function and structure unit of all living things. Smallest function and structure unit of all living things. Cell, sorry. And what is any living thing that carry out its own life process? Organisms. A living thing is called what? Organisms. Also, organisms that are made up of just one cell called what? Unicellular. Organisms that are made up of more than one cell, more than multicellular. All cells are surrounded by what? By cell membrane. Any cell surrounded by cell membrane, protective layer. B. Is the region inside the cell that include fluid that and all the organisms except for nucleus. Fluid, cytoplasm. The organ that contains DNA is called what? Nucleus. Prokaryotes are single-celled organisms that do not have nucleus. True. All eukaryotes are unicellular, or all eukaryotes are unicellular. Wrong. Fungi and plants are prokaryotes. Wrong, as the plants are eukaryotes. An organelle is a small body in cytoplasm that is specialized to perform a specific function. True. Which of the following are unicellular? Maybe a paramecium, while this is multicellular. Label the following. This is a nucleus. This outer layer, cell membrane or protective layer. I think this is a fluid is cytoplasm. Here we have this is hair-like structure, flagella. Outer layer, cell membrane. Fluid, cytoplasm. This is DNA. And this is organelles or ribosomes. Nucleus, small body in a cytoplasm that is specialized to perform a specific function, or protective layer that cover the cell surface, membrane bound organ that contain DNA. So answer will be C. Cytoplasm. The cytoplasm region inside the cell that includes fluid. D. Cell membrane. What's meant by cell membrane? I said it before. Protective layer or the outer layer of the cell. Protective layer that cover the cell surface and acts as a barrier between the inside of the cell and the cell environment. So the answer will be B. DNA, genetic material that provides instruction of the whole cell process. Organelle, small body in the cytoplasm that is specialized to perform a specific function. A. Put a tick or X to show whether these parts are present in eukaryotic or both. DNA present in both. DNA nucleus only in eukaryote. Cell membrane both. DNA in cytoplasm only in prokaryote, as there is no nucleus for prokaryote do not have a nucleus, so their DNA present in cytoplasm. Ribosome in both. Flagella only in prokaryote. Label the following organism as prokaryotic or eukaryotic. Tiger, eukaryotic. Bacteria, prokaryotic. Fungi, eukaryotic. Cat, eukaryotic. That's it. Thanks for watching.